But all hope is not lost for Ondo, because real-world asset tokenization has been one of the strongest narratives over the past year. We've seen big moves in the past month in the RWA space, and when I jump over to rwa.xyz to get a pulse on what's happening here with tokenized US Treasuries, Ondo is still one of the leading protocols being leveraged by BlackRock and their Biddle fund for the tokenization of US Treasuries on blockchain technology. The BlackRock Biddle fund specifically has grown from about $40 million in TVL to over $2.4 billion in size over the past 15 to 16 months. And if I scroll down here and look at the top entities that are being used for the tokenization of US Treasuries, Ondo is the second largest entity being used for the tokenization of those treasuries. If we double click into Ondo on a deeper level, we can see there's over $1.36 billion worth of tokenized assets using Ondo, their institutional grade blockchain enablement for RWA. This trend is very, very healthy. This is what I like to see when I'm looking at on-chain data, understanding these protocols from a fundamental level, but also what's happening on a practical level in terms of adoption and in terms of growth. And this growth is a very steady amount of growth here, going back to 2023, moving into 2024 with their OUSG and USDY products. We'll take a look at those in a moment, but very consistent growth in terms of the adoption of those products from an on-chain perspective. And this is what is getting me excited about the potential for Ondo over the coming months. Again, backing from BlackRock, partnerships with BlackRock being leveraged to tokenize US Treasuries on leading chains like Ethereum and like Solana that make up the vast bulk of what's happening there with Ondo, but also a little bit of stuff happening on XRP, Mantle, and Aptos, and not so much with Arbitrum, Mantra, and Polygon. So definitely interesting to see the mix of what's happening there. And if we jump over to Flux Finance, which is Ondo's native lending and borrowing protocol, we can see the ability for institutions now to be having and using certain Ondo products as collateral and borrowing against them across multiple different markets. You've got the ability for USDC, USDT, DAI, FRAX, etc. If we jump into the markets area, we can see there's a modest supply balance here and a modest borrow balance as well. We're still needing to see more adoption with Flux and their TVL growth, but you can see the OUSG product here as well and how it's being leveraged for the tokenization of those US Treasuries we just referenced a few moments ago.